we approach this with the generosity of spirit. But I think we also, I mean, Anne will know this, I think for me what's really important about the project is it's very civic. And Jarl has sort of set the gold standard. I mean, Anne and I used to work in Chicago, and I always really appreciated how civic philanthropists were there. When they give to the Art Institute of Chicago or the MCA, or they really give to the city, like they're building a collection for the city. And I feel like Jarl, with this project, in many ways, I feel like it has this sort of ethos that you're setting the gold standard for what is civic philanthropy, which, you know, I think is even more important, that we are giving back, and the platform for LA artists is absolutely at the core of this. How do we support them and provide those platforms across the 3 institutions? And also I think the other thing that is so, you know, it's not exciting to that many donors to talk about storage or to worry about storage along with us. It's very anxiety inducing, as we've all said in the statistics. My God, I'm going to go back and every piece scrutinize even further. But it is, you know, it's disappointing also when there's a piece of work that you're, you know, you think would be so important for the museum, but you cannot, you're just struggling to either accept the gift or you know, make the acquisition because of the storage concerns. And Jarl has really embraced the idea by, you know, endowing storage in perpetuity for these works. And I feel, you know, Jarl is beloved by artists and very revered by other collectors and donors, which is extremely helpful for us because he is an influencer and has already influenced, I think, a lot of other collectors who are now having those kinds of discussions with us, who would never have cracked open the door to a conversation about, if I, you know, give you this, what else can I do in terms of storage for that piece? And I think that is invaluable.
The one I'm most excited about, which is one I think was completely unexpected talking to Jarl, is MAC3 is now receiving gifts from others. Can you talk about this? Because I think this is so exciting about how this kind of generative collaboration is attractive to other people.
Well, I'd like to do the setup to this, because Michael probably won't take credit for this as he should. But we were walking through the conversation that, you know, that Zoe brought up about us all going through Freeze last year, and you know, trying to decide what we wanted to acquire from MAC3. We were going through a booth, and again, the fair hadn't opened yet. We're stepping over things. They're installing at booths, and we're, you know, worried we're going to bump into things. And we went through one gallery, and there was a Noah Purifoy exhibit, and we were looking at his beautiful work. And Chelsea Hadley here. Chelsea, could you raise your hand? Chelsea is the director of MAC3, and a longtime friend of mine, and former employee of Michael Govan's at LACMA, and has done a number of projects with the artist Ed Ruscha. And Michael, knowing that Ed Ruscha has been on the Noah Purifoy board, a foundation, for many years, I thought, jokingly, said to Chelsea, you ought to call Ed up and see if he'll buy one of these for MAC3. And we all kind of giggled. We thought that was pretty funny. I didn't take it seriously. 4 days later, Chelsea calls me and says, you know, I talked to Ed, and he said he'd think about it, and he thought about it. He said, no, I'm not going to buy one of those Purifoys, but I have some things in my collection, and I'd like to give MAC3 a collage. And so we ended up with this magnificent collage from Noah Purifoy, from Ed Ruscha's collection, and that was really exciting. And then we have announced that. We haven't announced, you have to be careful of this yet because we haven't gone public. But you would never betray me, would you?
There are reporters in the room. Remember.
The reporters would never.
There may be something, the point is that you would not be surprised to learn that that kind of gift might attract others, right? And there might be other announcements in your future.
There will be other announcements
right.
very soon, thanks to Michael and Chelsea and, Ed Ruscha, and so.
It was a beautiful thing that an artist gave the first work to the collection of artists, because it's a thing in LA that artists collect each other's work. And there's a thing about artists too, because we've all worked with Ed Ruscha. He loves us all, I think. And he wouldn't want to give it to LACMA or MOCA or Hammer individually, would he? But you know, there's that thing. I just give it to all of them, and then I'm like, oh, you know, I love them all. And so there's a nice quality to the spirit of that, again, artist to artist. And then the other part of the spirit is in future announcements, or we're thinking about that. We've inspired others to imagine that when they gift works, they will also add money to the pot for storage so that your statistics grow appropriately with the backup to them. And so that's one of the most innovative and exciting ways that we're thinking about this. And it's hard for a collector to say, I'm giving you the work, isn't that enough? But the stewardship is the other half of the work. Right. And so then it's a total gift, if it really comes with that, as yours are.
Any other thoughts about, you know, how the surprise of that, Zoe? I mean, I'm thinking about it in terms that, you know, private museums built on private collections do eventually receive gifts. So obviously people have made great gifts to the Frick collection, but it was many, many decades before an unrelated party decided to make a gift to that collection, right? This took 4 months, 3 months, right?
Well, Jarl said that he's very good at branding in business. And we talked about, that's why it's also MAC3 too. You can spell it out, or it's a thing. You could put it on a baseball hat or on your socks.
Swag.
So we plan a lot of swag.
Merch, man. We start with merch and we work backwards. We reverse engineer everything from merch.
This is, of course, the man behind MTV. Sound familiar?